Hello, thanks for joining me tonight. I know that we're normally together on Thursdays. However, with the Christmas schedule, things got a little crazy. So we're trying things different and having it on a Sunday night tonight. And we'll see how that goes. And if you can't catch it, then it's always going to be on our YouTube channel, so you can see it at a later date if that works for you. But I'm just going to run through what we're going to create and some of the products that I use to create it, and if I forget something else, I'll tell you later. Okay, so I'm Lanette, as you probably know. We're going to be making this layout. Okay, it's pretty thick, as you can maybe see better that way. You could thin it down quite a bit by using just cardstock instead of the cardboard that I used, but I was just using what I had on my desk. So that one's just a little bit thicker than normal. Maybe it would give you a little bit of trouble in the book. I'm having a little bit of trouble with my focusing because everything here is so white. Going to be doing a lot with some chipboard, some mist, and some stencils, and just building a layout off of, again, a plain cardstock. Just because that's what I had. Okay, so let me put this back over here so I can remember what I did, and then I'll go through the rest of the products. Okay, going to be using some colorations spray. You could use any blues that you wanted. I used Lark and the one I can never say the name of, Wami Bay, but it's just a really bright blue and then a deeper blue to contrast a little bit. And you can use any one of the colors that you'd like for this technique. It'll work just fine. It works better if they're in the same color family. That way you don't get any mud. Okay. The next thing you'll need to start is start your paper with gesso. Your cardstock, cover it with clear gesso. I use Liquitex just because that's what I have on hand. Okay, I just got a weird text, so am I not showing? Can someone chat if they can see me before I start anything? Give me a hello, guys. Okay, let me just put this on hold before I start applying products. I'm going to keep going. Okay, Roxanne's got me. Okay, so life is good. Okay, sorry. You guys know I have really great luck with this. I just wanted to make sure that everything was kosher before I continued. Using some wire thread by Prima, some Prima flowers, some micro beads, some glitter, some pearls, a couple pieces of cardstock, whatever you have in your bin, some dictionary pages because I like to use dictionary pages. I forget what this is called. I stole it out of my husband's stash. It's just like that wallpaper stuff. It's for seams and wallpaper, some flowers, and I'm going to use a clear coat. You know, we have 4 different clear coats. They all have glitter in them. I'm going to grab the first one I have, and this one is splashed, and it has kind of an iridescent glitter in it, and I'm going to be using that as my adhesive tonight, and you'll see what I mean when I get there. And then I'm going to use ice as well, and that's one of our fairy dust, and that's just going to give everything an extra little shimmer at the end. Okay? So now I've run through everything. Just because everything takes a little bit of time to dry tonight, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and we'll see how we do. Okay? Okay. My sheet's already dirty. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. Okay. So just to give you an idea, I just like to know where I'm going to start my project. And for this one, I used the center of the layout, mainly here, and then I balanced it in the two corners, as you can see. So that's where I'm going to start building my background. And by building my background, I'm just adding a little bit of texture to the background, using some dictionary pages, and some of that, I forget what it's, just the drywall seam stuff. And I'm just cutting my dictionary pages into random squares. And I'm just going to build up my background just a little bit with some matte gel. Okay? So I could have done this before, but I wanted you guys to see how I built the background. So I'll hurry as fast as I can. I know this is a little tedious, and I do apologize. Okay. Just a little bit of gel medium. And I'm just using my gel medium because I don't want to waste any of my clear coat for just something that's in the background. I like to save that for stuff that I'm actually going to see because the sparkles. But that's just me. You could use your clear coat for this too if you wanted to. It would work. I think I got 2 dictionary pages there. Hopefully they will both stay. Oh, what are you going to do? Just kind of staying away from the middle there because that's going to be 100% covered, as you can see by that big gob I have there. But the reason why I put this texture in the background is to help my mist move around and to help my drips flow just a little bit better when I'm having the color run around the page. So if you wonder why I'm doing this, this is why. Well, that is why. Sorry, I've been baking cookies all day, so my brain is literally cooked. So if I stutter, please bear with me. Okay. And I'm just trying to picture, when I do that, I'm just trying to picture where my center is going to be. No use in drawing anything that's you're not gonna see, right? No one wants to hear a heat gun that much. At least I don't want to hear a heat gun that much. Okay. Now this drywall stuff, it's a little sticky, but I usually just put some matte medium down just to make sure it stays. But that's, again, your preference. You find out what works for you. I got a little red in there from somewhere. Whew. Imagine that I cross-contaminated something. I can't believe I would do such a thing. I hope you all hear the sarcasm in that. Okay, almost done, and then I'll dry this, and then we can get to the fun stuff. Like I said, the only thing that I did was decide where my layout was going to be and just tried to keep my background a little balanced. So if I put something here, I put something here, kept everything in the center. Just trying to keep my page a little symmetrical. Okay, keep that over there. Maybe that'll help us stay in focus until we get some color here. Okay. Cook. Okay, I think that's enough for me to function, so I'm going to go ahead and go. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side for a second. Now this is the base of my my cluster. This is the base of my cluster, so everything for my picture is built off of this piece of cardboard. So using my dot matrix stencil, which you can tell I clean so often. Sorry, that's so bad. Okay, I just go ahead and spray my coloration spray, just randomly, just to get my dots on there. Okay, you can see. And it just goes right into the cardboard. Now, this was just a regular piece of cardboard that I cut into a square and then just coated with gesso. But I figured you wouldn't need to see that, but you can see those little dots. Okay. Give that a quick sec. I'm just going to keep building a couple things and give my final layout a little bit more time to dry while I do some of the background stuff. Okay. Try and keep this clean for y'all. Okay. So, with our clear coat, the sorbet, I'm using Splash tonight. It has the iridescent sparkle in it. And I'm using some chipboard. I think this chipboard's by Creative Embellishments. I did add a real quick coat of gesso, just because, you know, chipboard's that brown. So I added a quick coat of gesso. Let's see if that helps me stay in focus. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a quick coat of clear coat on my, well, that's the crappiest brush I think I could have ever picked, sorry. A quick coat of clear coat on here. And then I'm just going to adhere my glitter right on top. And you're going to be surprised at just how well it sticks. It's really pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. So let me paint away. And you know, the clear coat's just like any of the other dimensional paints. Anything, any kind of peak or valley that you leave, once the paint is dry, it will hold that position. So that's the one thing you want to do. Be careful when you're painting something intricate like a piece of chipboard like this, is that you don't get too much in between, because you're going to seal those cracks up, because it will just hold that position and it'll just fill in that gap, and you'll lose all your intricate details. Told you, I cooked my brain baking today. So by brushing it onto this napkin, I'm hopefully pushing it through a little bit more and keeping that design as much as I can. But, you know, with glitter, it's going to clog it up a little bit anyways, because it's not, I don't have a real fine glitter. I think it's a multi or a medium. I don't know. It's what I had in my stash, so that's what we're using today. That's the moral of this layout. Okay. And this is Stampendous glitter, and I'm just going to shake it over top. Okay. And dip it back in. Okay, and you can see that. Well, it's real hard. White glitter, white gesso. See it sparkle a little bit? Okay. Let me get the rest of these done real quick. I only got 2 more. I'll put my glitter in after we're done, so you don't have to watch me try and do that. Hopefully I remember to do it and I don't spill it all over my floor. Yeah. We've all done it. I know you've done it. I know you've done it. Okay. Dip. And sparkle. Okay. Dip. And sparkle. Woohoo! Okay. I'm going to use that a little bit more later to adhere my beads and some more glitter. Okay, let me put this back here. Okay. And back to my layout. So now I'm going to move these out of the way, let them dry a little bit. And I'm going to grab my bottle of water. Whenever I'm making drips on my layout, I always add just a little bit of water after I apply my color, and that's just to help it move around a little bit. So just a little spritzer that I have in my stash. Starting with the lighter blue first. I'm going to go along the top here. And then add my water. And I'm going to let that move around and drip a little bit. And by making my drip, I'm making my drips just by tipping my paper back and forth. Okay. And I'm adding a lot of color to this paper, so I want to go ahead and just dab off my extras so it doesn't get too saturated right away. That's the best thing about coating my paper with gesso, is I'm able to manipulate the color just a little bit because it doesn't sink in. It doesn't just soak right into that porous paper. Okay, onto my center. And thought I had more water in there. And my water. Okay. Just a little bit of drips. Turn the paper upside down. You can see they're dripping. Okay. When they get far enough, I'm just going to put them back up. Okay. And I want those drips to stay, so I'm going to hit them real quick. Okay. With the heat gun. I'm going to add a little bit of water to my sprayer because it's not spraying, so apparently I'm 100% out. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to get my water on the sides a little bit. I'm going to move it to the side. Okay. Drip and drip. I want vertical and horizontal drips, so I'm only going back and forth, side to side, up and down. I'm not trying to do a circle motion. When I get the drips that I want, I'm going to go ahead and heat dry them so they stay. And then I'll go through and I will dab off the extra and move to the bottom drips. Okay? And because of the gel medium on there, some of it's resisted, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Okay? Like I said, most of that's going to be covered. Plus, it looks kind of cool anyways. So moving on to the bottom. Spray, water, drip, drip, drip. Okay, that one's a little long. Totally erase it. Yeah, check that out. Okay. There we go. Perfecto. Let's cook that color on there. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring back those dots that I had on my cluster base. So with my darker blue, I'm going to add some, and notice I left all that color on there, and I'm going to show you why. I just set it to the side and now it's back. Okay? But I'm going to go ahead and add some dots. Okay. So see? Just some dots now. You can see there they are. By using my fan brush, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of that color and just start flicking it. And I want some big droplets and some little ones. And I'm doing it over my page because if something comes through the center, that's fine too. Okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I'm just going to put that in the water. Okay. So let me dry my droplets on here. I'm going to dab and dry so I get some dark and some light. Okay. Alrighty. So now you can kind of see our plain cardstock is starting to turn in to a fabulous layout. Woohoo! Hot dog. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the clear coat. And for this I just used a little spatula. And I'm going to adhere some micro beads. Okay? Because we buy all this stuff and we never use it. And I'm going to use it today. Okay. So I'm going to put some at the top. Here. And I'm just going to use my little spatula. And put my clear coat on there. So whatever doesn't get covered by beads is going to get covered, is going to have sparkle from the clear coat. So that's the added benefit of using the clear coat instead of just a gel medium, is you're going to get that fabulous sparkle. It's going to hold your peaks and valleys, and it's going to adhere your little fine beads and such. Okay. Let's see, where do I want some more? I'm going to go ahead and put some here. And just to keep with the whole balance thing, I'll put some at the bottom here too. Now the one thing is it is a clear coat. I just put it on top of blue, so it's going to be hard to see. So I'm going to shake some beads on. And hopefully I find all the spots. But if not, that's fine. Okay. Put some at the top. Okay. Give it a little tap. See, and look, it just grabs it. Look at that. Okay, now I'm going to hit this part here. Look at that. They're really hard to tell because it's blue on blue on blue. But you can kind of, right there. Okay. Now I'm going to put them here. Okay, and then on the bottom. Okay. So it just kind of looks like ice a little bit to go with the winter layout. Just flick my page a little bit, trying to get all my beads loose onto the paper, hopefully, onto the plate and not my desk. Okay. And I'll get those back in there later. Put that on the other plate. Okay. I'm going to just dry these just a little bit so I don't lose them. Now we're going to go back to our cluster. Now I didn't cut another picture, but I hope you'll forgive me for that. I'm going to add just a little bit more blue here. I'm happy. So, I don't have my hot glue gun because I left my hot glue gun at my kid's school. So I'm just going to use a little bit of 3D gloss gel, and I won't be able to pick up my paper as much. But when it dries, it will all stay together. So that's, I guess, the best thing for us all, right? So I'm going to start my cluster with my cardboard center. Just get that where I want it to be. Okay. Now I don't have a picture cut like I was starting to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a piece of paper that is the same size of, well, roughly the same size as the picture. Or maybe I'll just, yeah, no, I better do that just so we know what I'm doing here. Okay. So you can see it takes up most of the area, and it's just a 4 by 5 1/4 picture. Okay. Oops, wrong container. But I'm just going to adhere that so I can keep building my cluster, and you'll see why I had to do that in a second. But because I'm using scratch paper or scrap paper or whatever, I don't have as many pieces as you would think that I would have, so I have to tuck them and make them work. So you'll see things just get tucked up under and they're not all the way through or whatever. So it's just, you know, a way to save on paper or use what you have. Okay, so I'm just building up my layers here. And this is just a random piece of, I think this one was an old Prima line. And I just tucked it behind my photo. Oops, I guess that's cut a little longer. It's a real exact science I got going on here, right? Okay. I'm just going to build my layers. Some more dictionary page. Just keep building up my layers. I hope nobody ever tries to read whatever pages I put on here because they have no meaning. They're just dictionary pages. Okay. And this might look a little different than my original one, but you know, sometimes it's hard to create exactly the same thing again. Hope you guys will forgive me for that. Okay. So it's still going. Where am I at? Okay. Wait, got that backwards. Ooh, I don't like that big white piece. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to start adding some more of my embellishments on. Keep my page from bending up completely. Okay, so I have this pretty snowflake. I'm going to cut that sucker in half. We're going to put half at the top. Again, I'm just trying to keep my page as balanced as possible because that's the OCD in me. Some people like their pages off balanced. I like mine very balanced. Okay. A little bit of glue on my snowflakes. And this was the other half of the circle that I used. So I just cut it. These snowflakes are on both sides of the circle, and I just cut it in half. If anybody was interested in that little tidbit of knowledge. So it's actually a pretty inexpensive embellishment. You can get a lot out of it. Okay. I'm going to keep adding my clusters. You can start seeing where it's growing. Growing. Let's see. Next, I got some flowers going on in here. I think I got some over here. Maybe one here. One here. Some of these paper flowers. Can't just have plain ones, you know, I gotta make them a little thicker. So I'm just using a little bit of adhesive in the middle and making them grow. I'm leaving this pretty open so I can still get my picture on here later, or whoever uses the layout can get it later. I don't know, maybe I'll give it to someone since I have two now. And I'm just building my cluster a little bit more. Okay. 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 So that's about it for the flowers. Pretty little cluster there. Some glitter, some beads, some color. Okay. So now this is Stupendous Silver Crushed Glass Glitter. So now I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the glass beads. I'm going to go ahead and go back and use the clear coat and my spatula. And I'm going to dab it around my page where I want a little bit deeper sparkle or darker color of sparkle. Not a lot, just a little bit here and there. And I don't want it to be too much, so I'm not going to just dump it on there. I'm just going to sprinkle it on there a little bit. Oh, gee, look at how tidy I'm being with that. That's what happens when you try to be careful, right? Let me just sprinkle this over in the garbage. You can see. Just grab that up. And that's a little bit heavier than I wanted, so I'm going to just scratch some of it off a little bit. Work it into the paint a little bit. Maybe move it around a little bit. Okay. There we go. Okay. So you can see. Okay. Almost done. Almost done. Come on, focus, focus. Focus for me. Okay. Almost back in focus. Maybe. I think that's as best as I'm going to get right now. Okay. Now you can see on my page, I have these little curlies. You can kind of see these little curlies. And that's that wire thread that I had. This is just a fun little trick to add a little something to your layouts. So grab a paintbrush. It works best if it's a thinner one. And just wrap it around your brush. Okay. You see it's on there? I'm going to pull it out, stretch it out, open it up a little bit, fold it in half. A little bit of gloss gel or gel, whatever. It doesn't matter. And you're just going to place it. Repeat. So wire, paintbrush, wrap. Wrap, 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 wrap. Okay. Stretch it out. Bend it. And gob it, goo it, and attach it. Okay. Let's make that page a little thicker, right? Okay. I'm going to add another snowflake down here in the corner on top of those wires. Okay, and now just a couple pearls. And honestly, I think these pearls came from one of my daughter's necklaces, toy necklaces that they broke. So I don't think that there's no supply chain for that. but they made for a cute little addition to my layout, so we'll go with it. I tried to keep that, anything that I add like that, I just try to keep in numbers of 3s if possible. I don't know why. Odd numbers work for me. That's my preference. Okay, and now I just need to find my sequins. I've lost them in my pick of a desk. Going to add a couple splashes of them here and there. For that, I'm going to use my clear coat again with the end of a paintbrush. And I'm going to be able to dab that on and then put the sequin right on top of the clear coat. And if I can't find where I was going to put it, that's okay, like I said, because then it's just a little bit more sparkle. Now the trick is to get these little sequins out of the bag. There, that's better. Without getting them all stuck to my fingers, right? Okay. Okay. And I think that I'm actually done a little early. I think. I don't know, let's see. I didn't put a title on it because I don't have a picture on it yet. Those are just thickers that I colored with a marker. You could use colorations on a brush to color your thickers ahead of time, or you could use any kind of any one of the paints. For me, I just grabbed a sticker. I'm sorry, a marker. But there's our layout, original. Then there's what I created with you. Pretty close. Pretty close. Looks like the main thing that I'm forgetting is the frame that I added. And for that, I went ahead and I just used a marker. And I just started a doodle. And it's a very fine line, so you don't really see it. But then that'll bring in the next part, which is the last thing that I always add to any of my layouts, which is a little bit of random stamping and some splashes. For this, I just use a tiny little, it's kind of like a grid pattern. It's out of a Prima set. I think it's the old Zephyr set, I don't know. My Faber-Castell marker, you can use StazOn. I just use my marker. And I just start working in some random stamps. Now you would think that I would do this before I put all this on here, but I don't really know where I want it to be until after my page is built, so I always just try to lift my layers a little bit and work it in. Okay. Which isn't great for my stamps because, you know, they get goo and glitter and gunk and all that fun stuff on there. But that's okay. So it'll wash off, right? And if it doesn't, that's okay too. Okay. So you can see a little bit of those X's. That's the stamping that I'm adding on there. Okay. Now the very last thing that I would add is a little bit of mist. For that, I gotta find my Raider because I forgot to pull it out. Oh, where are you, buddy, 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 buddy? Well, let me go back in. I thought that I had added some ice, but I can't see where I did. But I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit here on my flowers. And this is just going to give it a little bit of a sparkle. And that's the ice. Not real heavy because I don't want too much. But it's just going to give a little bit of a sparkle to my flowers. A little bit of glitter. I'm going to dry those real quick. Just gives them a little bit of a shimmer. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Silk Tie tonight for my splatters, just because I don't know where my Raider is. I think that it's up there, and I'll find it the minute I'm logged off, but that's okay. So just I use a fan brush. I just dip it in my color, which isn't the smartest thing to do because then I spill it. I'm going to dab a little bit off on a paper towel and cover the majority of my cluster and just add the tiniest, tiniest bit of a contrasting black. Well, in this case, gray. Just the tiniest bit on top of where I had added that stamping. Okay. And there you have it. That is our layout. We are 7 minutes early. I hope you'll forgive me. Dry that up. Okay. Any questions? I don't think so. Stacy's probably been answering them all for me. Yeah, it's just regular cardstock. I don't have any watercolor paper right now, but it's just regular cardstock. The one thing I do to my cardstock is I always add a layer of clear coat gesso. That looks like one of them. The flowers were Prima. That's what I had in my stash. I think that's about it. No, I have not had a chance to play with my minks. Now that I'm done with this layout, that's what I'm gonna do. And I think that's about it. So thank you all so much. I can see the white clear gesso when I put it on top of the cardstock, because I want it to be, if I had a pattern on the cardstock, I want that to still show through, and that's what I have. So that's the only reason. But usually it's because if there's a pattern on the paper that I still want to see, I don't want it to be covered with the gesso. Make sense? Yeah, I'm sorry. I can see the computer if I squint really close. I forgot to put my glasses on before I came in my room, so where my computer is, I can't see why I'm trying to create because it's hard to focus. I'm a little blind. That's what happens when you get old. Okay. Yeah, and it just gives it a little bit of a tooth to grab it, and so it doesn't soak right into the paper. No tricky reason. It works for me. You can kind of hear it just gives it that kind of scratch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you enjoyed the layout. Again, if you missed it or would like to view it again, it'll be up on the YouTube channel, I'm sure, soon. Don't forget to stop by and see us at CHA if you're there. We'd love to chat with you. We'll be doing some fun make and takes and things like that. Lots of the new products to play with, and we'll get some new products out for you next month. I'll be playing with these fun little guys here, which are the minks. You can see all that beautiful shimmer in the bottom of the jar there before I shake it up. And I haven't even opened them yet, but I will be sure to play with them tonight and have a fun project for you next month. And that will be, it's, as Stacy says, it's booth 83. Get closer to the computer, Lanette. 838. Okay. So thank you so much, and we'll see y'all soon, and we'll see you next month for a fun project with our minks. Okay? Bye-bye.